Hello stock investors, I'm Jerry Romine coming at you from Barbados. This has been a crazy month of stock investing and I know a lot of people are getting frustrated with the markets, and I'm telling you, now is the time to stay in the markets. Winners never quit and quitters never win, and the people jumping out of the market now will be the ones chasing the markets when everything comes back and is firing on all cylinders. In today's video, I'm going to rock your world with some simple technical analysis on stocks I am watching this week, and I guarantee if you watch today's video to the very end, you'll have a better understanding of when to buy stocks, where to set your trail stops, and how to use volatility to your advantage. Today's video is being brought to you by Webull, and if you'd like to get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850, be sure to use the link down below. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to like and subscribe and grab a huge cup of coffee and hang on, because this is not your normal stock channel. Let's kick things off today with a success story from Love Girl. Up over 38% on PAVM in a week. Much thanks, Jerry, for all you do. Let's make some money in 2021. This is what we do, and if you want to take your investing to the next level, join our Patreon community for daily hot stocks, high growth portfolios, and to receive your trade alerts. As most of you know, I travel the world and I'm currently in Barbados. 2 days ago, a volcano erupted in St. Vincent, and now in Barbados, we have a real ash mess. Yesterday, while I was driving back from the grocery store, we hit a blackout in the middle of the day due to an ash storm where we had almost complete darkness. And then later that day, the rainstorms hit, and now we have a real mess where the ash is caked like mud everywhere. I'm not complaining at all, and this is all part of life. The good news is the Caribbean has trade winds, and hopefully in just a few days, the ash storms will end and the real cleanup will begin. The way I look at it, this is all part of what makes life exciting. All right, now let's jump into stocks so I can rock your world and help you make more money as an investor. All right, we're now in Thinkorswim, and I've got some really cool things to show you. At the bottom, you'll see we've got a new volume percent breakout. We'll go over that in just a minute. And then at the top, we've got 3 different labels for you. We've got the ATR, TS for trail stop, and V for volume. Let's start with the ATR. ATR is the average true range, and it's a volatility indicator that shows how much an asset moves on average during a given time frame. So right now, I've got the ATR set to 14 days, and that tells us that the average dollar movement is $1.30 per day, up or down. That's the range, $1.30, and that represents 4% of the current stock price of $32.58 for American Eagle Outfitters. Next, we have the trail stop, and that's showing 10%. And one of the ways we can get the trail stop is by using a multiplier of the ATR, and a normal range is 2 to 3, so I'm using 2.5 of the ATR. So right now our ATR is 4%, and we multiply that times 2.5, it comes out to 10%. And let me show you how we can change that. All we do is come up here and click on the little beacon, and then we're going to scroll down and we want to take a look at the ATR label, click on the little settings button, and now we've got the ATR multiple. So we can move that up or down. The current setting is 2.5 and we've got the current length set to 14 days. Super simple to change. Right here's where all the magic happens on this one. We just simply hit OK and apply, and then we're set. And our third label is volume, and it's telling us that we're down 26%. If we come down and we look at the chart here, we can see that minus 26 matches the top up here. So we're just taking that value and putting it here where it's a quick and easy reference. And then we can look at the chart. On the chart, these bright blue bars means that the volume is increasing. The purple bars means that it's decreasing, and the line shows where the average volume is. What we're doing on the volume is we're taking the average of 30 trading days and we're comparing it to the average of the last 5 days. Now, 30 trading days is roughly 1.5 months, so that'll help you when you look down here, and right now we can tell that we are down 26%. Now, it's really important to understand that volatility and volume are not standalone indicators. We use these with other indicators, and the way I look at volume is volume confirms a movement. So a high volume is really good. Here we can see we're down 26%, where it would be much better if it was a high volume. Now, one thing we can notice on this stock is the price is going up on lower volume, and that's completely okay. It would just simply be better if we had higher volume. Now that we've gone over our volume indicator and all of our new labels, let's put everything in action and look at 10 different stocks that have given me buy signals and ones that I'm watching this week. First off, we've got the ATR. We know that it goes up and down an average of about $1.30 per day, which is 4% of the price. If we were going to set the trail stop at 10%, that makes sense because we're giving the stock room to work. Because if we set it too tight, say at 5%, we can see that it's very likely we could be knocked out in just a normal day's movement. Now let's take a look at our other indicators. We've got the PMC indicator. Down here we can see that we're in bright blue, so that's a good sign for us. We recently had a MACD cross, and we've got the volume, which is down 26%. It would be much better if the volume was high, but we can still trade the stock. It's up to us. All right, let's go over a few more things on the chart. At the top, we've got our percent change for the stock price, and everything in green means that it's getting higher and going up. If it was in red, it has lost value. So everything here is looking good. We can see in 1 month we're up 7%, 2 months 20%, 6 months 60%, all good. On the chart here, we've got the blue line, which is the 20-day EMA, the red is the 50, and the gap between them, this forms what I call the railroad tracks, and anytime we're in a nice upward channel, this is what it's going to look like. So a real good looking stock here. So now let's take a look at our ATR. We know that it's 90 cents per day, so that stock typically will have a range of 90 cents, and that represents 2% of the stock price. So it's much lower than the last stock we looked at, and because it's much lower and less volatile, we know we would need a trail stop that is lower, and that would only be 6%. So can you see how we went from a trail stop on the previous stock of 10% based on the ATR to only 6%, and that's because this stock is less volatile. And now we've got our volume, it's down 25% compared to what it's been over the previous 30 sessions. Very helpful to know. So everything is going well, but we wish we had more volume to confirm the movement. Our third stock is Buckle, ticker BKE, and if we look at our ATR, it's $1.70 per day, represents 4% of the purchase price, and we want our trail stop to be about 10%, and our volume, you'll notice it is now green, and that's because it's up 22%. So this is a really good sign. The stock is taking off, volume has increased, we know where to set our trail stop, and we know what the average true range is. All systems go right here. If we look at the PMC indicator, we just crossed the zero line into bright blue, which is good, and we just had a MACD crossover, and we've got a confirmation of the movement with volume. This is exactly what we're looking for. Now I could probably stop the video right here because I've covered all of the main things I want to show you, but let's go ahead and look at a few more stocks that I'm looking at this week to drive that point home and help you. Plus I'm giving you some good stocks to consider buying this week, Buckle being one of them. Number 4 is Full House Resorts, ticker FLL. Our average true range is 70 cents per day, which represents 7% of the stock's value, and our volume is down 4%, and here's the big one. Because the average true range is higher, 7% of the stock's value, we know that we would need a bigger trail stop, in this case 19%, and if we come down and look at our volume, we can see that it is a little bit lower than what the average is. There you have it. Number 5 is MGM Resorts, ticker MGM. Our average true range is $1.60 per day, 4% of the stock's value. Trail stop would be 10%, and our volume is down 11%. Boot Barn is another stock that's performing very well, ticker BOOT. The average true range is $3.50 per day. This represents 5% of the stock's price, and would want to have our trail stop at 13%, and our average volume is down 20%. And what I want to point out here is we've got a higher trail stop, 13%, and if we look at the bars, we can tell that it's more volatile because these bars are bigger and longer. Real simple, and this simply gives us a value that we can use. Now, if we come back and we look at this time frame on the stock, check out what the volume was doing. We can see that the volume was increasing. We went over the line, and as the volume increased, it confirmed the movement, and man, there was a great movement. So this is the setup that we're looking for. We've got the bars going blue, we've got the green signal on the MACD, and we've got an increase in volume. So currently right now, we've only got 2 out of the 3. Or Hire Car, ticker HYRE. Our average true range is $1.10, and that represents 9% of the stock's price. Our trail stop would be higher at 22%, and this makes sense. And here we can see that we've got the volume that is up 3%. So that's a really good sign. We've got increasing volume. Everything is looking good here, and look at this stock movement. Now you'll notice that the volume is up 3%, and I've got this colored in white. If we come back and we look at Buckle, anytime that volume is up 10% or more, I trigger this with a green color so we know, hey, this is something that we really want to watch. Guys, I'm telling you, this is a game changer, because if you just simply look at the charts, you really can't tell what the ATR is just by looking at the bars and the size of the bars, because a big bar on a smaller stock is going to be a much larger number than a big bar on a higher price stock. So now we're looking at Intel. It trades at 68.26, and if we come over, we can see our ATR is $1.90, and that's pretty small. That represents only 3% of the stock price, so we'd need a lower trail stop of 7%. So if you set your trail stop at 10%, you're leaving an extra 3% on the table that you may not need to. Now, one thing I want to point out, the ATR's averages for most investors is between 2 and 3, so you're going to want to find that range that's good for you. I'm using 2.5, which is one that I often use, and it will vary a little bit from stock to stock, but you'll find your comfort zone. And right now we can tell that our volume is down 25% on this stock, so we do not have a great confirmation of the movement. We always prefer to have a higher volume, and we simply don't have it here. Our next stock is ticker SID, and this is a steel stock from Brazil. It's one that I love. What have we got here? We've got an ATR of 30 cents per day. That represents a 4% value, and our trail stop should be 11%. Our volume is currently down 7%. Other than that, everything else is looking really good here. We've got our bright blue bars on the PMC. We had a MACD cross. Stock is going up. And if we look at our volume bar, yesterday our volume was much higher and it's climbing. So hopefully soon it's going to break over that average. And if we come down here and look at this part on the chart, this is going to blow you away. Here we had a buy signal, and then we come down, we went to green right here, which is a real plus. We had the MACD go to green, and look what happened with our volume. It shot up and it held, and look at this movement. It confirmed the movement and it lasted a long time. This is what we're looking for. We're now looking at a steel stock that I love, ticker UUUU, Energy Fuels, and check this out. The ATR on it is 60 cents per day, and that represents a 9% movement of the stock's price because it trades at $6.54. That's a huge movement every day. If you set your trail stop at 10%, you are just asking to be taken out because that's a normal movement for the stock. On a stock like this, you would want to have a trail stop around 22%, and if that is higher than your risk tolerance, then this is a stock that you want to stay out of. And right now, this makes perfect sense because the uranium stocks are much more volatile. They go up and down. You need to have a higher risk tolerance for these types of stocks, and these indicators are really going to help you decide which stocks you want to be in and which ones to pass on. And right now we can see that our volume is also down an average of 19%. Hopefully this is helping you out. And I've got one more to cover for you guys. All right, the last stock we're covering today is Fuel Cell Energy, ticker FCEL, and this is for our moderator, Louisa. Louisa was telling me she recently got stopped out of Fuel Cell Energy, and she had her trail stop set pretty low and tight, and I told her you wouldn't believe that you should have your trail stop much higher, and I'm going to show you in today's video. So Louisa, here it is for you. On this stock, the ATR is $1.50 per day. It trades at $12.46, and that is 12% of the stock's value. You would need to have a trail stop of about 29%. So if you're not prepared to lose 29% and you want to set a trail stop, this is probably one that you want to stay out of. Hopefully that helps you out. The other thing we can see on this stock, and it's a great example, is our volume is down 50% compared to what it has been over the previous 30 trading sessions. So that's a pretty low volume. You might want to consider letting that volume pick up quite a bit for a confirmed movement before you jump into that one. As always, my goal is to give you as much value as I can, and if you'd like to get a copy of the indicators I covered today, I'll be posting them in my Discord channel later this week. And if you enjoyed today's video and want to see more like this one, then be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And if you want to take your investing to the next level, join our Patreon community. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Peace, and I'll see you on the next video.